Hi everyone, welcome to Book and Bujo, where I talk about all things books, bullet journals, and stationery. Join me today as I set up my reading journal for June. First, let's start with a flip through of May. So I have the books that I checked out from the library, and I think I'll have a couple more to put on here before the end of the month. I still have a couple more days, and then I will use this side for June and add this little bookmark to that month. So my stats, which I will fill out at the end of the month. And then these are all the books that I have read so far. It's been a crazy busy month for reading, thanks to Escape the Readathon. I've been reading a lot of books. So yeah, I think I have a couple more that will probably fit in here, and then hopefully I will be good. My TBRopoly, I can actually fill this in a little bit more. I am about 90% done now, and I will have this done in the next day or two, so easily before the end of May. I will most likely finish this tonight, actually. And then the book clubs, these two I couldn't find. This one, I think I did actually find the ebook for it. I'll have to double check. I did read a couple of the poems from The Complete Poetry of William Blake, but I probably won't ever finish the whole thing. But I have dabbled here and there in it. I've gotten 3 of the 4 books from the Neapolitan Quartet done by Elena Ferrante for the Hardcore Literature Book Club. And everything else I have basically finished. For year-long readathons, I have completed everything. Yep, all of these. Yep, got everything finished for the year-long readathons and yearly challenges. And then we move into the month-long readathons. And I've been doing great. I haven't figured out my points and all that kind of stuff yet, but as you can see, I have finished a lot of stuff already. Yeah, I've finished actually all of the prompts that are available. I've done all of them once, so I've finished all of those. That's pretty good. I do need to come back in and look at the monikers and statuses so I can figure out this portion of it and figure out what books that I read for those, because I think most of these books will fit in here. If not, I probably have some extras I can add in there. And for Escape the Readathon, this is where we are so far. We've had the path to the room itself, all throughout, and we are now actually in the hallway to get to the escape pod. So we are almost out. It's the last ditch effort to make it to the escape pod, and then I think there's something we have to do once we reach that. And this will come out after the readathon is over, so I feel okay telling you all of that and showing you where we were. And then for the Goober Readathon, I'm doing really well. Also, I have 1 book left, and that one I will finish today. And this is the one I used my bonus for, where I could put these in any order I wanted. And the only thing I haven't done is share the non-reading ones. I haven't done any of those yet. And then we move into June. Let's go over some supplies first. So of course I have my Archer and Olive white dot grid paper in the 8x8 square with the raven on a book. Love this. And not as many things to use this time. I do have my typical supplies, my sticker peel assist mat, my glue stick, ruler, pencil, eraser, tweezers, and scissors. I have a couple of washi tapes from Journal Say that I may or may not use. I have a kind of bookish one with like some little book stands and reading rooms and things like that. And I have one that's kind of a travel one that has some camping stuff in it that I am almost out of. This is all I have left. So I will most likely use this on at least one of my pages for Camp Season-a-thon, because of course we're camping. And then I also have some little bits and bobs from the Reading Time ephemera book that I had. Where are the other ones? I have more. Okay, here's some others that I might use. Maybe, maybe not. And whatever I don't use this month, I will probably carry over into July. And then for pens, I have a yellow Ohuhu dual tip dot pen. I have a mild liner, kind of like that turquoisey teal color. I have a Zebra Sarasa clip pen in the vintage yellow. I think that one's called Mustard. I have a Papermate Inkjoy in .07 in the orange. Tombow Fudenosuke in the orange as well. This one's a hard tip. And then I have a Kira Rich glitter highlighter in the yellow. So let's go ahead and get right into the setup. For June, I'm going to switch things up just a little bit and see what I think. So I typically do my stats on this page, my TBRopoly on this page, and then I do book clubs, read-alongs, readathons, that kind of thing. And I decided, you know what, the stats are something at the end of the month anyway, so instead of having them at the front, why don't I move the calendar to this side and put my TBRopoly tracker on this side, and then I can still do book clubs, read-alongs, readathons, that kind of thing, and then put stats at the end of the month. So that's kind of what the plan is for June, and we'll see how it goes and if I like it better this way or not. And now for a final flip through. So for June, I'm going to try out having my calendar on this side this time instead of this side, and then my stats later on. I have my little library card. The books that I have checked out from the library will go here. And then my TBRopoly books. So my punishment roll, my first 6 rolls, and then all of the extras. And then for some reason, if I fill up my tracker here on my calendar, I will use this. I'll put the book in here, and then I will continue the dates down through here and color them in. And then the next page, I have book clubs and year-long readathons. And then yearly challenges, which include the Bridge 4 challenge. And if I have any books that I read for the family challenge, I can put that down here. And I'm coming up on the last few pages in my journal here, and I want to make sure they last as long as possible. So I am adding in little tip-ins here whenever I can. And then on this side, I have one last little year-long readathon here. I probably should have put that down here to kind of carry it over, but there we go. And then I have my stats on this side. And then moving over here, we have the month-long readathons, and that's Camp Seasonathon with Completely Melanie. And I have the map here, and then underneath, I have all of the prompts and the book that I'm going to read for it. And then I will just mark off either on this side or this side the ones that I've completed and submitted. And then over here, we have 2 more readathons. So the Tarot Readathon with Noelle Sunday and Deja's Book World. And I am on Team Wands, and it's going to be so much fun. So for Team Wands, we have a 3-card spread, and the first position is an alternate prompt. The book matches the card's prompt that you pull, or the title begins with the first letter of the card. And you have to ignore A's, ands, and or thes in the book title. For the second one, it's a card swap, and so you can draw 2 cards and choose between them. And lastly, position 3, we have double points. So the book not only matches the card's prompt, but also has a verb in the title. So I did 3 different 3-card spreads, and I will kind of start at the top and work my way down. And if I only do the first 3, then that is fine. I'm happy with that. So to start, I pulled a 3 of Pentacles, which is an alliance or follows a group of characters. Starts with a T. I picked To Kill a God by Ben Galley. And then for the 6 of Wands, I pulled the Sun and the 6 of Wands. I decided to go with the 6 of Wands, and that features politics or political intrigue. And I did put Heavy Lies the Crown, but I could use the Raven Scholar as prompt instead. And the only reason I have an alternate one here is because Heavy Lies the Crown is the 2nd book in a series, and To Kill a God is the 3rd book in the same series. And I'm pretty sure you're going to have to read this one before this one. And To Kill a God was the only book I had that started with a T that was not the word the. So there we go. So I'll probably switch this one to the Raven Scholar. And then Justice, BIPOC, queer, or disabled author, and I'll be reading The Grace of Kings. And the word grace can be used as a verb. That uses both of the different options and should get double points for that. My second spread was the Ace of Pentacles. Buy or borrow a book off your wish list and read that. And well, I didn't have any books that started with an A that were not A or An, and we had to ignore A's or An's. But I did find one that is from one of the book clubs that I'm kind of dipping my toes into to see if I want to do it. And it's basically reading books from around the world. And they plan on reading Annie John by Jamaica Kincaid, and so I decided to add that one here because I will need to borrow that from my library. And it's on my wish list because it sounds very interesting. As soon as I heard about it from the book club, I added it to my want to read list. For my second one, I pulled The Tower and Ace of Wands, and I decided to go with Ace of Wands. And it's a book you can't stop thinking about or is highly anticipated, and I actually have a couple of them. One of them is Mother of Learning, Arc 2, and the other one is Dark Rise by C.S. Bacasat, and that's the one I'm planning on going with. And then lastly, the 10 of Cups features found family, belonging, or strong community, and I chose Spellmaker for that one. And that's by Charlie N. Holmberg, and it's the second book in the Spellbreaker duology. And then I did end up doing one more set of 3-card spreads, and I got The World, and popular on BookTube or other social media, Book Talk, Bookstagram, that kind of thing. And it needs to start with a T because it's The World. And I didn't have anything. So, because I already used To Kill a God, everything else starts with the word the. And I did find 2 books actually that I could use for this. One of them is The Twisted Ones by T. Kingfisher, and the other one is Thornhaven, the first book in the series by Morgan Rice. So I will read one of those 2. And then my second card, I drew the 10 of Pentacles and the Empress, and I went with the Empress, and that was a cozy or comforting book, and I'm going to go with The Bordeaux Book Club by Jillian Harvey. And then lastly, it was the 9 of Pentacles, a small or isolated cast of characters, and I decided to go with The Bruising of Kilwa by Nassim Jamnia. It does have a small and intimate cast of characters, which is great, and it has the verb in it. So I will probably use that one for that prompt. And then for Wonderthon, we have so much stuff going on. I'm not quite sure all of what's happening yet, but it takes place from June 12th to the 28th by Lizzie's Literary Life. And I am on Team Roberts, and our colors are orange and yellow, and there's 4 ways to earn points, either through the gambling board, looting, navigating, or sailing boards. And there's bonuses and modifiers, battles, feasts, challenges, you can get coins, all that fun stuff. So I just put a little space for each of those to kind of say, maybe do a little synopsis of what each of them, what books I may have contributed to each of them, or how the team is doing in each of them. Not quite sure. I'm kind of playing this one by ear a little bit, and we'll fill it out as the readathon progresses. And then also for all of the different spots where I have books, especially for TBRopoly over here, I will use this really fun glitter highlighter to color in all of the dice as I complete the books. And same with the book clubs and all of that. Anytime I read any of the books, I will color that in with this. And thank you so much for joining me today as I set up my reading journal for June. I am so excited for all of the readathons and all the book clubs and everything else that's going on for June. And I would love to find out if you are participating in any of the readathons that I am and what teams you are on, because Team Wands and Team Roberts rock. And the Turquoise Cabin, huge shout out to all my fellow cabin mates in the Turquoise Cabin for Camp Season-a-thon. And let's see, if you made it this far in the video, let's just go ahead and leave a book stack or a ladder emoji in the comments to let me know that you made it this far. And until next time, keep planning and keep reading. Bye!